Hello everyone, myself Sanat Kumar Soy, an assistant professor at Vedang Institute of Technology. In today's class, we'll be discussing about the product life cycle um, uh, in the marketing management. Why is it important to understand the product life cycle? In the previous classes, we have discussed about product, various types of categorizing the various types of products. So today we'll be discussing about the life cycle, okay, of a product. So we'll be going through a few slides and right. So product life cycle. What do you mean by product life cycle? What do you mean by life cycle? It's a cycle from birth, death. Okay. Human life cycle. Okay. We have a life cycle. We take birth and to the end of our human journey. That can be termed as a human cycle. Similarly, for any kind of product, it has got a life cycle. So this is basically a concept. It's basically a concept which has been used in the marketing, okay, to understand that how a product goes from the initial stage to the decline stage in the market. So what are those stages? Those stages are introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. Introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. So these are the four types of growth which is uh, which is in the product life cycle. Okay. So these are the stages of product life cycle: the production, the growth, and maturity and decline. So why do we need to understand? Why do we need to understand that product life cycle? Is it important? Why? I mean, I just want to ask you that why do you think that a product life cycle is important to understand? See, uh, we've already discussed about marketing mix. Okay, uh, you can recall marketing mix. What is exactly marketing mix? The four P's. There are four P's in the marketing mix: product, price, place, and promotion. So if we are going to understand the product life cycle, then it will be easier for us to understand or influence the marketing mix, because product life cycle influences greatly, it impacts greatly the marketing mix. Okay, so that is why important. You see here in this graph, you can see that this is the initial stage, okay, or you can say the introduction stage, and it goes all the way from here to growth. So this is the growth stage. Okay, you can see that there's a elevation. Okay, and it comes to the peak stage, or you can say that's the maturity stage, and after the maturity stage it starts to decline. Okay, so if that is a graphical, if you see, this is the sales and this is time. So with time it declines. Okay, all the products. Okay. But how we can secure the product life cycle, we'll be discussing about that as well. So in the introduction stage, so this is the introduction stage. Okay, in the introduction stage, what happens is that when there is a new product into the market, so what happens, definitely not all the people are aware, not the market is not aware of that product, that particular product. Okay, so what happens is that this particular stage, in this stage, what happens, that there is very low sales. You can see the sale is very low. So this is the sale. Okay. In the maturity stage or in the growth stage, you see there is a steady increase of sales, but in the introduction stage the sales is very low, but the cost is extremely high. Okay, why? Because there's a heavy investment in product development and marketing, because when there's a new product which has been launched into the market, then definitely there's a heavy investment in the developing that product and doing various kinds of marketing. Next point, consumers are not yet familiar with the products, so marketing effort focus on creating awareness and educating potential. So definitely, as because there is the consumers are not yet familiar with those products, so definitely marketing effort has to be enhanced. Okay, and there has to be awareness. Awareness need to be created so that we can educate the potential customers who can be our potential customer in the long run. So if you take an example, you see that when Reliance Jio, you see Jio, when did Jio start its operation? Started its operation in 2016. It started its operation in 2016. Okay, Reliance Jio. So when Reliance Jio Infocom Limited launched its 4G services in India, so this is the first company to have launched first 4G network in India. Okay, so what happened in the initial stage, it faced the introduction, it faced the introduction stage. Okay, so despite heavy investment and aggressive marketing, it took time to gain traction among consumers. Definitely it took a lot of time. If you ask me personally, I will say that I took Jio phone or Jio SIM. I used the Jio network after a couple of years. Initially I didn't use the Jio network. Okay, because I was more comfortable with Airtel, or I was more comfortable with other companies or BSNL whatsoever. So if we take a personal case study, we will say that it take time. Okay, it take time to gain traction among the consumers. Okay, so that was the initial stage, and at that time the sales were has to be extremely low. It was very low, and the cost was more. There were high costs. Okay, so these are the introduction stage. Next comes the growth stage. Okay, so again I'll see this. See, this is the growth stage. Okay, so this starts to peak. The sales starts to peak. Okay, so in the growth stage, what happens that the sales, it starts to increase rapidly. It starts to, there's a trajectory stage. Okay, because the consumers, they become aware of that product. They become aware of the necessity of that product. They become aware of the the positive attributes of that product, and they try to adopt it. Okay, but in second instance, what happens is that there is a competition. In the introduction stage, there is less competition, but when you are in the growth stage, then there is a lot of competition. Okay, competition may intensify as other companies enter the market with similar product. Definitely, when 4G started, it was only Jio who provided the 4G, but subsequently there were other companies who entered the market with similar product. They may Airtel, Vodafone, BSNL. Okay, a lot of other companies who came into Orange, Free. Okay, so there is competition may starts to intensify. Okay, if we take an example of Patanjali Ayurved. Okay, who was the founder of Patanjali Ayurved? Baba Ramdev. Right? You all of may be aware of Baba Ramdev. Okay, he is the founder of Patanjali Ayurved. I believe it is based at Haridwar. Anyways, so it experienced rapid growth in the Indian market with its range of Ayurvedic products. So initially, there was a immediate growth, a rapid growth in the market, because Patanjali Ayurved focused on the Ayurvedic products. And why it happened? Because during the growth stage, its sales and market share increased significantly as more consumers shifted towards herbal and natural products. There was less marketing because more people, they know about the benefits of herbal and natural products. We don't have to put more effort. So with little effort, very less effort, the sales and market share increased significantly. So this is the growth stage. Next is maturity stage. So what do you mean by maturity stage? Maturity stage means at a certain point, uh, the sales is at the peak. If you go to the previous slide, you can see. So this is the maturity level. Okay. So you see the sales. Okay. It is on the peak. It is on the peak of the maturity level. Okay. It reaches the maximum market penetration. Okay. The maximum people are being reached. The maximum market has been already reached. But in this kind of stage, what happens that there is a fierce marketing competition. Competition is extremely fierce. Why? Because companies often focus on product differentiation and promotional strategy to maintain market share. See, as we call in the growth stage, there are other companies who have come into competition. So in order to, once you hit the maturity stage, then in order to stay afloat in the market, you have to you have to give out different kinds of differentiation and promotion strategies so that you can maintain the market share. Okay. For example, if we take an example of Maruti Suzuki, all of you know about Maruti Suzuki. Okay. So it's a company who manufacture cars. So there's a car, there's a model named as Swift. Okay, Maruti Swift, or Maruti Suzuki Swift. So that's a popular hatchback car. Okay. So recently it has reached the maturity stage in the market. Okay. But despite being a successful product, its growth rate slowed down. Though the Maruti Swift is a successful product in the market, but in spite of that, it has slowed down. And what Maruti or Suzuki had to do? Right now, I believe Maruti has been separated out from Suzuki, and Suzuki is building out their own cars, I believe. Anyways, so they have to continuously upgrade its features and launch marketing campaigns to sustain sales. So in order to stay in the market, they have to bring out new features and they have to do a lot of marketing campaigns in order to stay in the market. Okay. So they have reached the maturity stage. Next is the decline stage. So what happens in the decline stage? In the decline stage, you see when the product has reached its market saturation and there is no, you see, any kind of innovation, there is no technological advancement, okay, or any kind of the consumer preferences. We are unable to change the consumer preferences, or we are unable to bring out various kinds of alternatives. So in that case, our product starts to decline, okay, and that is known as the decline stage. So what happens in this stage? The companies, they may choose to reposition the product, that yes, this position is not for this market segment, this position is for this particular market segment, or extend its life cycle, okay, or discontinue it altogether, or they may discontinue. So recently there are multiple cases, there are multiple examples of product which has reached the decline stage. For example, feature phone. Earlier we used to have a feature phones in our in India. Right now we are having smartphones. So with the advent of smartphones, the feature phones could not meet, okay, could not meet the demands of the consumers, because the penetrations increased, the market penetration increased by the smartphone, and the prices which used to be unaffordable, it became affordable among the consumers. So the consumers, they started to drift away from the features phone. Okay, so leading to a decline in sales for companies manufacturing such devices. So who is which one is the most important example of the decline stage in the mobile phones? We can say Nokia. Nokia is one of the best example which has reached a decline stage. So this is the product life cycle: introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. Okay. So in conclusion, why it is important to understand product life cycle? Because if you are going to understand the product life cycle, we can develop various kinds of strategies in each stages. Okay. For example, um, for the marketers, the marketing professionals, okay, they can develop appropriate strategies for each stages. For example, investing in innovation during the introduction stage. So when there is an introduction stage, they can put more effort into the innovation. Uh, During the maturity stage, they can focus on market share retention, how we can share, how we can retain our market share during the maturity stage. And during the decline stage, we can explore new market segment. Rather than focusing on that particular market segment, we can explore further more new market segments during the decline stage. So these kind of uh, uh, strategies can be developed if we are going to understand the product life cycle. So that is very much important for the marketing professionals to understand the product life cycle in order to make various kinds of strategies. So thank you very much. With this, we have completed the product life cycle, and I believe everything has been clearly understood. If there is still any doubt, do let me know, and we'll be more than happy to clarify your doubt. Yeah. Thank you very much.